Hello, what's your name?
Luna.
Hi, Luna. Thank you for bothering me in the other lesson, so please take a look, it's pretty funny. But anyway, now she's playing with the phone, so hopefully she will not bother me. So again, like I said in the last video, I'm going to try to cover converting percents into decimals and fractions. Should be pretty straightforward. If you want to skip this, that's fine. It's pretty straightforward, but we have to cover it. So one of the first examples would be 60%. Okay, what does percent mean? Well, we already know this. Percent means divide by 100. So if I want to change a percent into a fraction, all I do is put that number over 100. Wow, super easy. Remember, percent is just another way of saying I want a fraction of something. If I have 100% of it, that means I have everything. But I only have 60% of something, which represents as 60 over 100, a fraction. Or I could simplify it or reduce it, right? I could cancel the zeros, divide by 2, and then what would I get? I could also write this as 3/5. And I could do long division and do 3 divided by 5, and this could also be represented as 0.6. So 60% could be represented as all these three different things. Awesome. But the idea is, instead of just going from percent into a fraction or a decimal, we also need to be able to go back to 60%. Well, we talked about this. Hopefully it's not too challenging, but think about it. If we're going this way and we divide it by 100, now we're going in the opposite direction. Shouldn't we do the opposite of dividing by 100? Exactly, yes. So what is the opposite of dividing by 100? We would multiply by 100. Pretty simple, right? Because think about it. If we had 60 over 100, and if I multiply this by 100, what would I get? Well, 100's over 1, the hundreds would cancel. Oh, what am I left with? Just 60. Or, we could start with 3/5, multiply by 100. What would I get? Again, this would be over 1. What's 100 divided by 5? That would be 20 over 1. And what's 20 times 3? That would give me my 60 again. So pretty straightforward, I hope. But, right, they might not just give you the percent itself. They're going to give you a word problem, right? And actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. They're going to give you a fraction in a word problem, and they'll ask you what percent is that. Now, I just said, oh, you should multiply by 100. But some of you might say, oh, shouldn't we use the part over the whole equals percent over 100? Well, sure, we could do that, but think about what we're actually doing. So for instance, let's just say, okay, we're going to eat, let's just use this 3/5, that we're going to eat, say, 3/5 of the pizza. Okay, what does that mean? I'm going to eat 3/5 of the pizza. Okay, well, what percent is that? So then 3 would be the part over the whole, right? Part over the whole. Actually, you know what? Let me actually write let's just do that. Is equal to x percent over 100%. But, right, we could cross multiply and we would get 5 times x and then it equal 300 and then you would divide. But think about it. We could solve this. We would still get 60. But how do I undo, or how do I make x alone in this situation, right? We did this in Mr. Ovalle or Ms. Jurasovic's class. How do I make x alone? What's getting in the way? The division of 100. So then, if I want x to be alone, I have to undo the division of 100. How do I do that? I would do the opposite operation, or the inverse operation, which would be to multiply by 100. If I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side. And so the hundreds cancel. And oh, what do you know? What did we do to that fraction we started with? We multiplied by 100. So even when we did the part, right, over whole equals x over 100, that's essentially what we're doing. We're just multiplying whatever fraction we have by 100. So again, the important thing here is that when you have a fraction or a decimal, all we have to do is multiply by 100. And that's it. So with that said, I want you to do these 4 problems for me, and it'll be part of your homework. I want you to turn this in. You could write it on your notebook, but I would prefer you to just print this page out. I will give it to you on Monday as well. But the homework should be easy because I'm going to go over it right now. But I highly encourage you to try to do these problems on your own first, and then look at the answers as I do it. So, like I said, if you want to, please pause it right now and do these problems. Or you could just look. That's fine too. But you would still have to copy it and turn it in. So the first problem is, I want to eat 2/5 of a pizza. What percent of the pizza did I eat? Okay, easy enough. So what percent is 2/5? Yes, basically. Like I said, you just say 2/5 times 100. Right? If I have a fraction, I just multiply by 100. Easy. Easy. So divide by 1. 100 divided by 5. That's going to be 20 over 1. 2 times 20. I get 40%. So 2/5 is the same thing as saying 40% of something. Next one. On average, it rained. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's have somebody else read. Jada, can you read for us? Sure thing, Mr. Yoshii. On average, it rained once a week in March 2015. By what percent did it rain each week? Okay, thank you, Jada. I don't know why, again, I don't know, everybody's voices are so high, but it's okay. Anyway, so it says once a week. Okay, so once a week. So what's the part? Well, it only rained once. And a week is how many days? Well, that's 1 day out of 7 days. So the fraction I'm looking at is 1/7. Okay, now I have to multiply this by 100. But 100 does not divide nicely into 7. So all I could do is multiply horizontally, and I would get 100 over 7. Ugly. But we gotta get through it. So I have to do long division. 100 divided by 7. 7 goes into 1, 0 times. 7 go into a 10, 1 time. Awesome. So that's going to be 7. Subtract it. I get 3. Bring the 0. 7 goes into 30 how many times? 3 times? No. It goes in 4 times. So it goes in, and I got 28. Subtract. I get 2 left over. Now I'm going into the decimal place. I drop it down. I get 0. How many times does 7 go into 20? It goes in 2 times. 14. 6, ... This is pretty much all I need, really. Let's just round it to the nearest whole percent. So let's just call it 14%. That's it. Right? It didn't specify or tell me exactly where to round, but usually when we're talking about percents, right, we just care about the whole percent usually. But make sure to read the problem. Next one. Mackie sleeps 8 hours a day. What percent? Oh, actually, you know what? It's about Mackie. Let's have Mackie read it. Sure thing, Mr. Yoshii. Anything for you. Mackie sleeps 8 hours a day. What percent of the day is this? Okay, thank you, Mackie. It seems like you didn't sleep enough, but apparently you sleep 8 hours a day. Okay, so 8 hours a day. What percent of the day? Okay, so obviously 8 must be the part. And what's the whole? It says percent of the day. Well, how many hours? So this is talking about hours, 8 hours. Alright, so the bottom has to also be hours. What percent of the day? Well, there is 24 hours in a day. Okay, and what did I say we do to a fraction to make it into a percent? Multiply by 100. Easy. So, I will put it over 1. Okay, does it simplify? Well, the left side, 8 goes into the top and bottom, so I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 8. So that's the first thing I do. What do I get? I will get 1 over, and 8 goes into 24, 3 times 100. Okay, so now I have, again, 3 doesn't go into 100 nicely, so I have a improper fraction. Okay, so let's do the actual division here. Let's bring it over here. 100 divided by 3. 3 goes into 10, 3 times, and then drop down the 10. 3 goes into 10, 3 times. So that's 9. Oh, I think I see a pattern. 3 goes into 10, 3 times. Oh, so it keeps on doing the same thing. So I got 33 point, and it's going to be 33333, or it could be represented as a 0.3 repeated. So let's just round it to the nearest whole percent, so I get 33%. Now let's look at the last one. It's a CMC basketball team won 8 out of 10 games last year. By what percent did they lose? So if you got the answer of 80% when you did it on your own, you are wrong. Why? Because look closely. It says the team won 8 out of 10 games. But what is it asking for? What percent did they lose? So how many did they lose if they won 8 out of 10? That means they lost 2 games out of the total of 10 games that they won. Multiply that by 100, divide the top and bottom by 10, so that becomes 1, that's 10. So that means that they lost 20% of the games. So I hope that you got all these problems correct. Okay, please look at the next video, which will be a little bit more interesting.